right, welcome to the 323rd District Court detention hearings for Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. In compliance with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 33 related to the coronavirus, we are not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are using remote software, specifically we are using Zoom. In order to comply with Article 1, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, also known as the Open Courts Act, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public has meaningful access to what occurs inside a public courtroom. This is still a court proceeding, so the court does expect everyone to behave appropriately for court. That means please have your cameras on unless you are an officer of the court. We are expecting everyone to refrain from showing movement in the background, so please do not be in a moving vehicle, walking around on the jogging trail. Please do not eat food while you're here. Please don't use the lavatory, take showers, and also please refrain from having bright lights from behind your head, as that tends to shadow out your face. Of course, if you're an officer of the court, I understand if you have other business that you need to take care of, and so you are excused from those requirements. All right. No portion of this broadcast may be recorded, published, or copied. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. All right, so we're going to start with Michael. Mr. Burden. All right, Mr. Burden, please sit up. Thank you. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge in 2 days, and I will decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you're not afford an attorney, we'll provide one for you at this time. Mr. Clark, I believe, has been hired as your attorney.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Good morning, sir.
So, Michael, let's see, you're 15 years old. You never been here before.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, evidently, yesterday, Hearst Police brought you in. They're saying they were dispatched to Pipeline Road for about an Uber driver being assaulted. When they got there, the driver said he arrived to pick up his passengers. 8 to 10 people tried to get in, so he exited, tell them that they could not take them all. Then he got assaulted by 2 or 3, he believed, not sure the total number who hit him. He described one as a red shirt, another blue shirt, and the last as heavy set. He said he was hit by all 3 and being held down by one in order for others to hit him. He said about $80 of cash tips was missing, and the group ran off after the assault. Officer had the driver look at his app. Passenger that requested pickup was Matthew, and the pickup location was a nearby hookah lounge. Officer patrolled the area, saw a group walking nearby that matched the description. They identified the group. Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Webb, Mr. Burden, and Mr. Gorman, all juveniles. Officers noticed that Gallagher was heavyset with a green sweater, 2 in red sports jerseys. The 4th was in a blue sweater. There were also 4 juvenile females, none of which were detained. One made a statement that the group was watching the Super Bowl at a hookah lounge. They left in an Uber, but claimed it was a car, not an SUV. They were detained for investigation. Turned out Gallagher had some cash in his wallet and in his pocket. And Matthew's phone was confiscated since they believed it was used to order the Uber. All 4 males were found in possession of fake IDs. 4 females had fake IDs. And 1 admitted to the officers the girls met the group of boys at the hookah lounge and they ordered an Uber to leave. She denied witnessing the robbery. The victim initially declined medical attention, but then, while talking with officers, continued to drop to his knees while holding his chest and was transported to the hospital by ambulance. All right, do we have a parent here for Mr. Burden?
Yes, we do, Judge. Yes, it's under Catherine.
Okay, hello, Catherine. I think you're on mute right now.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
No, I think.
Okay. No.
Could be walking around during court.
I hear.
Ms. Burden, I'm not talking to you right now. Hold on a second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're walking around during court. All right. Hello, Catherine. Okay, so now we
Hello.
got the. Okay, so I have some questions. First of all, where was Michael supposed to be last night? Or
He was supposed to be, was supposed to be watching the game at one of the other boys' house, like Jimmy Gorman's house. They were supposed to be watching the game.
okay, so you know Mr. Gorman, Mr. Webb, and Mr. Gallagher?
Yes,
What city do you live in?
me, I live in Delaware.
You live in Delaware.
I actually live in Delaware, yes. So my permanent residence is Delaware.
So why is Passionate? I already instructed you once not to walk around, and so that's just not acceptable for court. Please. Okay, so then where does Michael live?
He lives with I and his father in Delaware.
So what's he doing in Texas?
My daughter lives here and she is having a baby
Okay, when you say here, you mean Delaware or in Texas?
here in Texas.
Okay, all right.
And I usually come out and spend the winter with her.
Okay. All right.
We're getting ready to go back to Delaware like right after the Super Bowl. So that was the plan, but you know.
If you live in Delaware, how do you know these other boys?
They're friends of the family. They're related to us. They're my cousins, kids.
Okay. Do you know how long he's had a fake ID?
I wasn't aware of that, sir. And, you know, this whole thing's the first time I even heard of it. I'm amazed. I never even thought he was capable of something like that, you know.
All right. Ms. Gurrow, are you here?
Yes, Judge.
Did we look up to see if he has juvenile history in the state of Delaware?
No, sir. I was not aware that the family lived in Delaware because the address that's on JCMS is a Lake Worth address.
Right. Okay, so Mom, my question is, if y'all are returning to Delaware, how are you gonna get him back to court?
I will manage. I'll get him back to court. I will. Definitely. You have my word on that.
Okay.
I won't. I mean, if it comes down to me having to stay here, I mean, I'm able to do that too, you know.
Right. You have eviction for them? Ed? Mom, is he, no, I know you're from Delaware, so is he in online school or in-person school back home?
No, he does homeschool, yeah.
So a homeschooler, or is he doing public school via?
Homeschool.
Okay, so it's an actual homeschool curriculum?
Yeah.
And Mom, you understand if I released him to you, and for whatever reason he failed to appear for court, I could issue a warrant for your arrest.
Yes, I understand, sir.
And if you were in Delaware, you would be extradited back to Texas.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Does he have a history of running away?
Absolutely not. This whole thing I'm just completely in shock with because he's always a good kid. I mean, this is just like amazing to me.
I usually don't do this. Since there's 4 kids all involved with the same offense, I'm I'm not gonna make a decision yet. I want to find out a little bit more about the other kids and see what the behavior's like. And so you're welcome to stay here in Zoom and find out, because Mr. Webb, Gorman, Gallagher, and Burden are all the first four that we're dealing with. So I've asked you the questions that I need to know. I'm gonna wait till I find out more about the other three before I make a decision on releasing them or not, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we have Matthew Gallagher.
Judge, I'm here, and Andy Platt here. I'm here with Mr. Gallagher's father. Can you turn that down? I told his mother's not here because she was up all night, of course, fretting. So it's just me and his dad, but they're together and they raise him together.
Great.
Hey, Daniel.
Andy.
All right. Okay, Mr. Gallagher, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I've decided whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're in detention. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. However, it seems like your family has retained Mr. Platt as your attorney. All right, so Matthew, you're 16. You have no history with this department. And this is regarding we just saw Mr. Burden. So by the Uber driver, claims was assaulted after denying the ride. And evidently, your phone was the one that ordered the Uber. Evidently, it had, let's see, $22 in your wallet, 105 crumpled in your pocket, and you were in possession of a fake ID. And the driver ended up having to go to the hospital by ambulance. All right, so Mr. Platt, this is the dad that's here?
Yes, sir. He's right next to me.
I'm right here.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out about these boys, what's going on. So where was Matthew supposed to be at this time?
He was supposed to be watching the game with friends.
Where was he supposed to be at?
He didn't elaborate exactly where he was going. He said he's watching it at a friend's house. I was watching the game at another friend's house.
Okay. Ms. Brazel, what time did all this happen?
Judge, Shelley's finishing up another hearing with Judge Terry, so I'm covering for her.
All right, Daniel, what time did this happen?
Let me check if it had there was a little confusion with the police report, so let me check if it gave an actual time.
So the game was on the 7th, and the report says the 8th.
Your Honor,
Yes. Ms.
showing
Paxton,
11:40,
11 on the 8th?
11:40 on the 7th.
On the 7th, okay. All right, so Dad, when was Matthew supposed to be home by?
Matthew's phone was dead. I've been trying to call him for a few hours, and he texted me off of, I think, Johnny Webb's phone, said that he was on his way home maybe around 11 that time, at 11:30 or so.
Okay, does he not have a curfew?
Yeah, he does have a curfew. He was supposed to be home long before that, but his phone had been dead for hours. So he texted me off someone else's phone.
All right, so according to the police report, your son is the one that requested the Uber. So I'm trying to figure out if his phone was dead.
Yeah, he couldn't have requested it from his phone because it had been dead for hours. Because I have Find My iPhone on there, and I've been trying to call him and locate him for hours, and it's been dead for at least several hours. The game ended around 9.
Right.
He may have requested the Uber off someone else's phone, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm not even assuming his phone is really dead.
Right. Well, maybe he just blocked me because I couldn't find, I couldn't.
You wouldn't be the first dad to have his phone blocked, right?
Right. Well, I would hope not. But
All right. So do you know who Mr. Webb, Burden, and Gorman are?
Yes, I know them.
You know them all?
Yes.
And Judge, he has no history. He didn't have any history of running away. He is homeschooled too, and he does well. And it's more of a shock to everybody that he's being accused of this. I was about to say this happened. I'm not saying anything happened yet, but it's a stable home life and no history of violence or guns or assault.
All right, Dad, did you know he had a fake ID?
I had no idea he had a fake ID. I found out about it when I called the Hearst Police Department that night.
I think you were here when I was talking to Miss Burden. All right, I just want to review all 4 of these boys before I make a decision. All right, you're welcome to stay here on Zoom. I just, this is a shoplifting deal. It'd be different, but evidently in this, we have a victim that had to go to the hospital for emergency medical attention. So one of the decisions one of my decision points is the safety of the community about releasing these children. And so I just, when you have crimes of violence, including theft, I'm kind of cautious. I think the community deserves that. So I truly haven't made a decision yet. I just want to get a bigger picture since you have 4 juveniles that are all involved together in the same offense. So, all right. Okay. So James Gorman. All right, Mr. Gorman, this is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I've decided whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. I know Mr. Kutcher has been hired as your attorney. Good morning, Ken. Haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Wow.
Okay, so James, I've seen 2 of the other kids already that were allegedly involved with you. This is the Uber driver in Hearst. A bunch of kids want to get in, said no. He's claiming that he was beat up and money taken from him, and that y'all were picked up by the police, all of you with fake IDs. So the other 2, I'm just letting you know, James, that I haven't made a decision yet. My decision will probably be very similar to most of you, if not all. And trying to figure out. So do we have Ken, are you with the mom, I guess?
Yeah, this is Nancy Gorman, and then his father's here also.
Okay. All right. Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm just trying to get a bigger picture. I haven't made a decision. I'll be honest. I probably won't make a decision right now. I'll wait to see the 4th boy, which is Mr. Webb. I do have some questions for you, though. I don't know if Mom or Dad wants to answer, but I see no history with this department. Do you know the other boys? Is Michael Burden, Matthew Gallagher, and John Webb?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How do you know them?
They're cousins and friends.
Okay. All right. Is James homeschooled as well?
Yes.
Okay.
He's an AB student.
Well, you say AB student, so are y'all part of a co-op or are you?
He's Our Lady of the Rosary Catholic School.
I'm sorry, there was a little.
Our Lady of the Rosary Catholic School.
All right, where was he supposed to be on Sunday night?
Watching the game at Michael Burden's.
Okay. Did he ever go to Michael Burden's?
What? Apparently not. I haven't been able to speak with him since he's been in there.
Okay. Catherine, I know you were still here. Did the boys ever come to your place?
No, because I assumed he was supposed to be at Jimmy Gorman's.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They obviously,
And let's be honest, I mean, we were all teenagers at one point. We all at one point told our parents we went place where we weren't.
Yes,
This isn't, this is not a capital offense. I'm just trying to get a good
kind of
picture.
typical, yeah.
So, all right, so then Mom, Mrs. Gorman, I'm gonna ask, what, does he have a curfew? Was it time, there's supposed to be a time you're supposed to be home?
Yes, he was supposed to be home by 11, and I had been trying to contact him, and apparently he was doing something. He wasn't supposed to be, and he wasn't answering my phone, and I was find my iPhone, and that's where I found the area he was in. I'd been trying to contact him since 11.
Oh, I understand. Any history of running away? Does he have a history of, does James have a history of running away?
Honor. No, Your Honor. I'm as well shocked at all of this.
Yeah, seems like all the parents are so far. Okay. All right, like I said at the beginning, I'm really, I mean, I believe the courts really should make a quick decision. Once it has all the facts. So I'm just trying to, I want to talk to all four sets of parents and have an idea of what's going on so I can make a decision. So you're welcome to stay here on Zoom. I'm about to talk to Mr. Webb's parents and then figure out where we are, and then I'll make a decision, okay? All right, so I'm ready for John Webb.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I think so. You're a good woman. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Webb, good morning. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here.
Would you say it
You
was
have a right to me silent. You have a
10
right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. However, it seems like you've hired Mr. Lane. Jim, good to see you again.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you.
So I will say, there's some people in the waiting room. All right, so John, I'm familiar already. I've talked to just Michael, Matthew, and James. This is about the Uber driver who was robbed, said that the group tried to get in his SUV, said no, and then evidently he was beat up. They're saying that Matthew requested the Uber, he picked up the hookah lounge, and later on, they were found by the police. This Matthew had cash in his wallet, and all of y'all had fake IDs. So, all right, Mr. Lane, do we have a parent here?
We do, Judge. They're in evidently the waiting room. I'm in another room here by Mary Kelleher's.
Sure.
Right here, Your Honor.
Oh, there we are. Okay, so your mom and dad. All right. So your mom and dad, I've got a question. Seems like your son's never been here before. He's 16. All right, so they're out watching the game. Where was John supposed to be that night?
He was supposed to be at, he was watching the game with his friends, Your
Okay,
Honor.
I'm gonna ask y'all to scoot a little bit forward. Y'all are coming kind of far from the mic. Thank you.
Your Honor, he was watching the game with his friends, and he was supposed to be staying with his grandma after the game. The game ended at 10:45, and he was supposed to be staying with his grandma, and, you know,
Okay. So, but where was he supposed to be watching the game from?
with his friends at Mr. Gorman's place.
Mr. Gorman's place?
Yes.
Okay. And does he have a curfew?
Yes.
What time is his curfew?
Well, he was supposed to, after the game, go right to his grandma's, usually about 11 o'clock, you know.
Sure. Now, do you know, I guess you know Mr. Gorman. Do you know Matthew Gallagher and Michael Burden?
Yes.
How do
Yes.
y'all know them?
Oh, well, Mr. Gorman is his cousin.
So would it have been a mutual grandma to all of them or a grandma on the other side?
No, no.
It's just John's grandma. It's my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like we're
Yes.
dealing with cousins. What's the relationship between, like how are they cousins?
Well, my mom and Mr. Gorman's father are brother and sister.
Okay. Your mother and Mr. Gorman's father, brother and sister?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What about Mr. Burden?
Just friends.
Just friends. And Mr. Gallagher?
Just friends.
All right. So try to figure this out. So Miss Burden, are you still here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you said they're cousins. So are they all cousins or just two of them are like, are they related to Michael?
Yes, sir. Jimmy is related to me, to Michael.
And Matthew and John?
Yeah, also Matthew and John. Matthew, but not John.
So how's Matthew related to Michael?
Actually, it's their grandmother, Matthew's grandmother, and my grandmother are first cousins. So we're kind of like distantly, cousins, like fourth, fifth.
All right, everybody, I think we're ready to get started again. Sorry, Miss Ellen.
All right, so Miss Webb, your son in school, homeschool?
He homeschools.
Okay, and that's just homeschool? Is it through a co-op or through a program?
It's homeschool. It's cats homeschool.
Okay, so you're the one that instructs him?
Uh-huh.
Does he have a history of running away?
No.
No, Your Honor, never.
All right. Hey, security control back there?
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Is there any way we can group these four boys together? So I don't have to repeat myself 4 times?
That's fine. Would you like me to get the other 3?
Yeah, if you could, or if you need to move the laptop, if you need to sit them in a row, I don't mind. Whatever you feel is most appropriate. I just don't want to have to do it 4 times.
That's fine. Give me a couple of minutes, sir.
All right, thank you.
I need the other 3.
Can you get Mr. Colbert? I think come here. Adam.
Adam Colbert.
So please cover Chad.
I've got him here, sir. Trying to get the camera.
All right, thank you. They won't have to speak. They just need to be able to hear me. All right. All right, you four gentlemen, Mr. Burden, Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Gorman, Mr. Webb. And so parents, just so you understand this process, this is a detention hearing. This is not about whether they committed the offense or not. This is about whether there's probable cause. So that means, can somebody articulate, whether it's the police or juvenile probation officers, even you by chance, articulate certain statements that, if they were true, would constitute offense against the laws of Texas. And so if so, then I have to make a decision on whether to keep the child in detention or to release them. If I keep them in detention, then the law says I have to see them every 10 days. Right? The factors that I to consider in deciding whether to release a child or not is going to be really what's most important to me. Are they a danger to themselves, or are they a danger to the community, or are they not likely to reappear in court? Okay? There's a couple other factors, like if they've been adjudicated for a felony level offense as a juvenile before, other things going on. But those are the three main factors. Those are the factors I think you as parents understand should be critical for a judge deciding whether to keep a kid in custody or to release them. All right, so having talked to all four of these parents, I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the situation with these kids, all four of them. None of them history with this department. It seems like the parents know each other. It seems like there's quite a bit of deception from the boys to their parents, right? Which I understand to a certain degree that is juvenile behavior, and that is not the offense of the century. That doesn't, a child lying to the parent is not what keeps me up at night. It's crimes that occur against really just members of our community. That's what bothers me. So I've made a decision. Gentlemen, I've had all four of you brought in here, sit next to each other for a reason, because I do want to talk to you all at once. Because I was pretty much going to say the exact same thing to all four of you, and that is you're both looking at the offense of robbery. Just so you know, these are offenses that if you were, well, in theory, you could be certified as an adult and go to the adult criminal courts for prosecution, which you could receive a sentence of between 2 and 20 years in prison and $10,000 fine. These are also offenses as a juvenile, if you maintain here, could result in a commitment of up to 20 years in the Juvenile Justice Department, of which before your 19th birthday, there would be a hearing for me to determine whether you've been rehabilitated and I need to release you to the community on parole, or whether I should transfer you to the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to complete the remainder of your sentence, whatever the sentence may be. All right, so I need to let you know that this is a very serious situation. What may have started out as just a good idea at the time is something that can have long-lasting repercussions in your life. And just because depending on how the case turns out, it is possible, even though you are juveniles at this time, that this could be used against you in adult criminal settings if you're ever to be arrested for an adult offense after your 17th birthday. All right, so that being said, I just want to make sure you understand the gravity of the situation. Your parents understand the gravity of the situation. And I want to have this conversation with you four young gentlemen in front of your parents, just so there is no misunderstanding of how serious this is. You do have four lawyers here. I do know all your lawyers well. I practiced side by side with them for many years before I became a judge. It is important that you listen to your attorney's advice and to work through this. All right, so this is what I'm going to do is I am inclined, given the fact that y'all do not have history with this department, and given the fact that there was no weapon used, those are the two main factors for me right now in deciding that I'm inclined to release you. Here is the problem that we face. All four of you lied to your parents, right? And this is actually quite the teaching moment for you guys, is that sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter what you did. Specifically, it matters what situation or the timing that you actually did it in. And I'm not saying that you did this, I'm saying if it's true. I'm assuming this is true because that's the law. So this is the potential problem because of the timing, is that if I was to release you, I would only release you on electronic monitor because you were not where you were supposed to be at the time. That gives me concern. And if you had been truthful with your parents or have been doing what you're supposed to do, this would not have occurred. So I would release you on electronic monitor. The problem being is, and this is, you had nothing to do with it, this is just the timing, we only have 4 electronic monitors left, right? So my thought on this one is either I'm going to release you as a group or I'm not going to release you at all. So at this point, I am inclined to release you. I'm going to wait till I finish my portion of the detention hearing. If we have 4 monitors left at the end of this, I will release you all 4 to your parents for you to be on electronic monitor. However, if it turns out there's other children that end up getting the monitor, then all 4 of you will stay. And that's just your bad luck and your bad timing on when you were arrested, all right? So I'm not comfortable releasing you without the monitor because it seems like y'all are making bad decisions with your parents. But I'm okay releasing you with an electronic monitor. Now, that being said, I'm going to ask the parents, so that's Ms. Burden, Ms. Gallagher, I believe Ms. Gorman, and Mr. Webb. Is there concern on any of y'all for your parents, concerned by any of the parents about your sons using drugs? They were at a hookah lounge, right? I'm not that obtuse. I understand a lot of people who use hookahs also smoke pot or hashish or other things. So if you would like, this can't be used against them criminally because they're not in possession. This is just for your information, if you would like that or not. If you'd like to, I'm happy to administer a drug test so that you have the information. If you don't want it, that's fine too. But there's nothing, I think the only potential negative is if it ends up a case getting probation, there would be, it would increase the chances of random UAs as part of their probation. I'm gonna let you know, if they were at a hookah lounge that day, they're probably getting random UAs anyways, all right? And so, and I'm gonna order it as well as part of their release, if I was to release them. The only question is, do you want one right now when they were brought in, or do you just wanna wait until the court actually gives them a random UA? So I'm gonna start with the first one, Ms. Burden. Would you like us to give them a UA, or do you just wanna wait till we end up doing it on our own anyways?
I mean, they can take it now. He can take it now
Okay.
Yeah. And that's
Right.
fine with me. I mean, as
Okay.
long as, you know, it's,
There's no need for
if it's necessary, and I don't believe that I'm not concerned about it, but, I
It'd be
mean,
good to
if
know.
he's gonna do it later anyway, you might as well do it now.
That'll be a condition for his release, so we're gonna give it anyways. It's
Okay.
just the question is, I'm not gonna do it right now at their initial detention. If they had a case with us before, I would have, but this is their first time here, so I usually give them a free pass. It's for your information, Mom, if you would like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not really concerned about it, but if you're eventually gonna do it, I mean, it's fine with me. It's fine. I mean, if that's what's gonna happen, so.
All right, so to the parents of Matthew Gallagher, your thoughts?
Judge, he has no concerns about him. Can you turn that down? He has no concerns about him testing positive, but his concern is that if we do the UA now, are we going to be late in getting one of those electronic monitors?
Yes.
Oh, no,
that's my
so the
concern.
electronic monitor, that they're mutually exclusive. Getting the electronic monitor will depend on, I'm gonna finish my portion of the detention docket. If we run out of monitors, we run out, that doesn't affect things.
Okay.
So, all right. Okay, so Dad, again, he can't pick up a new case for this. This is really for your information. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks anyways when we give him a random urinalysis.
Right. No, I have no problem with it. Go.
Okay, good. So the parents of Mr. Gorman.
Nancy Gorman already gave her permission to.
Okay, great. We'll do that. And the parents of Mr. Webb?
You have no concerns over drug use.
Great.
Go
I
ahead
think
and
he's
do it.
probably best to have it done now, though.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll get the UAs from all the children. And then, of course, young men, I'm going to go through my detention docket. As long as we have 4 monitors, I will release all 4 of you on electronic monitor. But if we run out, we only have 3, then unfortunately that's kind of unintended consequence, but still a consequence nonetheless. All right. So council, parents, do you have anything? Yes, Ms. Guerrero?
I just have a question about my client. Will he need to remain in Texas?
You know, Ms. Burden, this is my general policy. I've made a couple exceptions for children that are out of state, but usually it's because they're in Arkansas, Louisiana, or Oklahoma, and they are within a couple hours drive of the Metroplex. I remember requiring a child from New Mexico to stay here in Tarrant County just because I wasn't sure they could come back. I don't want you to get a warrant and be extradited to Texas because your son decides to make another, or I'm not going to say another, make a boneheaded decision. All right. So
Yeah, sure.
he will be required to stay here in Tarrant County. All right. And then your daughter lives here in Tarrant, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. So he'll be required to stay here in Tarrant County. It's up to you whether you're going to physically stay with him or allow another responsible adult to be responsible for him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question, Ms. Guerrero. All right. Mr. Kutcher, Mr. Lane, Mr. Clark, Mr. Platt, any questions from the parents?
You know, at this point, I don't.
No questions.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we will, I'm going to set this aside. I already have the EM orders out. I just need to make sure we have 4 before I release them all. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
All right, next we have Anthony Harris.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Cynthia.
Hello, Ms. Goodall.
His mom is present, is my understanding, in court today.
All right, Mr. Harris, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I decide whether to keep you here, release you. If I keep you here, then the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Now, a foreign attorney will provide one for you. Mr. Berger has been appointed as your attorney. All right, so yesterday morning, just past midnight, just past noon, Arlington was dispatched for domestic. For a report, you got angry at your mom for rescheduling his probation meeting and drug test. According to mom, she did because she knew you would fail your drug test. Is mom?
Hi, Judge.
You know what? Now I see your face. I remember you.
Hi.
I remember I told you, you and me are going to work together and we're going to help Anthony out. And so, all right. So she knew you'd failed the test. You got upset, started yelling at your mom to keep the original meeting date. Mom, presumably so he can time his drug use with his probation meetings. So evidently you ran through the house, hitting walls, yelling. At one point you picked up a wooden chair and hit yourself in the forehead with it, called your mom a whore, a slut, and bitch, in other words, your mom. Mom, you're the person that's paying for his clothes and feeding him and keeping electricity on. Does he have a phone?
No, sir.
Okay. But the Wi-Fi at home, right? You're paying for that?
Yes, sir.
Drive him around, get him to doctor, school, like everything that he has, it's your sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
Just making sure. The mom reported slapping him twice in the face for calling her names. Okay. And they reported to have shoved his mom into a wall, causing pain in her back elbow and right pinky. Then you were detained, transferred to the detention facility. Then you began yelling, screaming, saying you're going to die, and upset about going to jail again. And then you started hitting your head against the plexiglass divider. And police tried to calm you down, but you get upset again. Once you got here, you continue to scream, cry, yell, and hit your head on the wall. And you're on probation for assault, family violence. Mom, are you the victim on that case?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Now, hold on a second. I'm still reading this. We gave you a drug test when you came in, and you were negative. Man. Just think, if you were worried about all this because you were going to be positive, you were actually negative when we gave you a test. So, mom said you stopped taking medication about 2 to 3 months ago because you refused to take it. And you successfully completed our electronic monitor twice. All right, mom, so he stopped taking medication 2 to 3 months ago. When's the last time you saw a doctor about his medication?
We have actually been on a waiting list to get him into MHMR.
Okay.
But we have discussed it, and he said that he would pretty much refuse to take it anyways.
Okay.
Take it.
All right. And did you bring the medication with you?
He didn't have any left once he left his brother's house the last time he was detained and put on the felony probation.
I understand. Okay. How's he doing in school?
So far he's been doing okay. We just recently got that started as well because of waiting on the probation and stuff and doing everything virtual. But so far he's been doing okay when he does it, when he can find time to do it, because him and his sister are sharing a device right now.
Okay. Do you know what he was previously prescribed?
He was on Boost Bar the very last time that I know of, and then I cannot say the name of it, but it's for like itching, but they also use it as an antidepressant as well.
If you remember, can you tell Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir, I can.
Judge, we do have a psychiatric consultation summary report that dates back December 18 of 2019. And it was, I believe you requested that, and youth was actually restarted on Sarah Traylon at that
That's
time.
going to be, Ms. Gonzalez, that's going to be a little too remote for me for 2000, that's over a year.
Yes, right.
I want to go ahead and get your, let's go ahead and, I like your advice. Let's go ahead and get another psychiatric evaluation. All right, so we have a more current one. Anthony, I'm going to let you know that some of your behavior I can get over, some of it I can't. All right. And so, hold on a second. I'll let you ask me a question in a minute. Some of it I can't. I'm going to continue now because it seems like if you are going to be this abusive towards your mother and be self-destructive by hitting your head, then I think you may need some medication. And so I'm going to have a doctor evaluate you. The doctor will make a decision. I'm going to let you know I'm not going to let you go unless you're level 1 outstanding. You know that. We've seen each other before. You need to be level outstanding to get out. And if you get prescribed medication and do not take it, you will never get to level 1 outstanding. So either you take your medication to get your way out of here, or you do it your own way. You stay here, and eventually we put you in placement. All right. So Anthony, I know you had your hand raised. If you want to tell me something, your attorney wants you to stay quiet. If you want to ask me a question, your attorney, Mr. Berger, is okay with you asking me questions. All right. So Anthony, do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
So I was doing so good.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That doesn't sound like a question.
No, it is a question. I'm just saying, how will this affect my probation? I was doing so good and it's just getting ripped from me, and I can't do this. I can't.
Well, all right. So the first thing
I need to go to JPS or something. I can't be alone in that cell for 4 days at this point. She just ripped everything and I walked for away from this. So I'm just,
first thing I'm going to say,
I just can't handle this.
Is stop making yourself a victim.
She.
No, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't victimize yourself. Why are you making yourself a victim?
Because
see, this is all somebody else's fault.
I can't say what she did because y'all won't let me. I can't tell my side of the story. This isn't fair.
Mom, does he always play the victim?
Yes, he does.
No, she dragged me out the bed by my hair and beat me on the ground. And when I tried to get away from her, she kept following me around the house, calling me names and everything, and I couldn't get away from her.
Hey, Anthony, you know what?
I'm going
to break this to you now when you're 15 years old, but mom's following you around the house, telling you what you did wrong and where you messed up. That's what moms do.
She was cussing me out. She was laughing at me when I was trying to calm down.
Do you even care what I have to say?
Yes, sir, but I just don't want to lose everything I've built over this. I've been doing so good. I haven't done no drugs, no nothing. I got a job as soon as I got off ankle money. I don't want to.
At what point do you actually listen to what I have to say? Because it seems like you're just waiting for your turn to talk, that you're not actually listening to me.
I'm sorry, sir. Just.
So if you think mom's following you around the house and telling you what you did wrong and calling you names and writing you, that's a problem. That every mom in the history of moms has done that. That's what moms do. And there's a reason why they do that, because they set standards for you and they're pushing you to do better and be better. And it's up to you whether you accept that or not. But if you're going to do it your way, it doesn't work with moms. Nobody's ever won that argument with a mom saying, I'm going to do it my way. Didn't work with my mom. Didn't work with Mr. Berger's mom, right? And you know what? With your mom, didn't work with her mom either, right? There's a reason why she pushes this. So here's the thing. When I say stop making yourself a victim, when you're talking about everything going wrong and you're pointing to somebody else, it's not somebody else's fault. From what I see here is your mom wanted you to take a drug test because you were breaking the rules of probation. And that's what you're upset over. We're not going to talk about whether that's actually the fact or not. That's what I see. And if that's
I
true,
took the drug test. What is going on? I did everything I'm supposed to. She beat me. Look at my face. Look at my arm. Why is she the victim? This isn't fair, Judge. This is not fair at all. She dragged me on the ground, slapped me in my face, and beat me with her fist.
I'll
This
tell you
isn't
what,
fair.
Anthony, I'll tell you what's not fair. What's not fair is that
Not
your
okay.
mom, right, is
I
trying.
didn't push her. I didn't hit her.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't do nothing to her.
There I go interrupting you again. So,
Can't take this. Nobody will listen to me because I'm a kid and I hate it. It's always her side that gets taken. That's not fair.
so now you're a victim. You're victimizing yourself because you're a kid. In the poor world, nobody listens to you.
She
Stop.
beat me and I'm fucked up.
Yeah, this is like the biggest pity party in the world. Don't make yourself a victim. Man up.
She did.
If you're gonna call your mom a B, man up. Man up.
Judge, you wasn't there to see what happened. She beat me. I was trying to calm down. She came in the room messing with me, Judge. Judge, this isn't fair. You're not listening to me.
Anthony, it's time to stop. We can talk about this another time.
This isn't fair. I'm
Please.
gonna lose everything I just built up because of a lie. This isn't fair. This isn't fair at all. This ain't fair.
All right, Mom, we'll get through this.
Everything.
Right?
This isn't okay.
I'm hoping a large part of this is the fact that he's not on medication.
This isn't
Hopefully we'll
okay.
get that balanced
This
out.
isn't fair.
I don't think this is really your son. Whoa, you need to sit down. Bring him back.
Give us 1 second, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, this is exactly what I deal with at home.
Oh, I have no doubt, Mom. Actually, I really remember you. I remember your demeanor, how calm you are. Actually, I remember you better than I remember him, just because I feel like you're doing the best with what you have.
I really am.
I'm impressed.
Your Honor?
Yes.
We're having a situation. We're trying to calm him down. He's lost it right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice.
Yes, so we'll try and get him back when we can.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Just be aware, I mean, depending on how he behaves here, we may set him for a quick modification hearing. Right. So we know. I don't know. I mean, his behavior right now, just hearing, leaves me concerned whether the community has the resources to really help this child. We may have to remove him from the community.
I understand, Judge.
Look, I know this is very stressful for you. I hope that this is a mental health issue that can be addressed through medical help. All right, you and I. Neither of us want to see this. We just want Anthony to be adjusted and mature and grow into a young adult. And so, we all have our own issues and problems and our own demons. Hopefully, this is just one that can be addressed maybe through medical help. Okay.
Yes.
So give him every opportunity.
Yes.
Is H-Pod there by chance?
Yes, Your Honor. He's still dealing with that situation.
Oh, okay. What about
Yeah,
Foxtrot? Is Foxtrot there? Fox-Pod? I just figure if Mr. Harris is gonna resist, we can actually move forward with the female while we're waiting. All right, so Ms. Jones, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing when a child's brought to a facility. You have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And we appointed Ms. Johnson as your attorney. So, Shantasia, is that how you pronounce your name? Shantasia, okay. Shantasia, let's see. You are 15 years old. You've never been here before. And so, let's see. Oh, this is the one with the hair braiding center, which your debit card couldn't pay for it. And you refused to give your name. And so, all right. So on January 29th, we released you on electronic monitor. You cut your monitor off and went left house. We issued a warrant, made contact with Ms. Rojas. So you called us, good, and told us where you could be located. So we dispatched police and they picked you up. Then on Sunday, I think, Mom said that she asked you to help with chores. You became angry, cut your monitor off and left the home. And then you called 911 after leaving your home and picked by police and taken to a relative's apartment. And you say you do not want to return to your mom's house. Okay, we give you UA, you're negative. Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Jones, do you still not want to be, you still not wish to go to your mother's house?
No.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, I mean, you don't mind me asking that.
Well, Judge, it's my understanding that her mother's not all that excited about her coming back in the home. There was a CPS worker on the screen the last time we were here, and you discharged her, indicating that you didn't think we might need her services, but I think we might need her services.
Okay, sure. Is the mom here?
Yes, she was online. Danielle Woods. Oh, there she
I'm
goes.
here. There she
Oh,
is.
hello, Ms. Woods. Okay. All right.
And Judge, for the record, my client actually called the police to turn herself in. They took her somewhere else as opposed to taking her to Kimbo, and then called again, and that's how she got to Kimbo.
I understand. Shantasia, look, I'm impressed by your maturity and self-awareness where you would call the police, you would call Ms. Rojas about coming back. So it kind of bothers me you cut off the monitor. I wish you had just left it on and then called the police, so at least we could track where you were. I'm impressed the fact that you're not positive for anything. It seems like there's just a deeper conflict going on that I'm not sure that I can really help much with. I just, I'm here only with criminal violations. And while you have a criminal type of case going on, that's the only reason I'm involved. At this point, Ms. Woods, is it fair to say that y'all don't think living in the house is a good thing at this time? Ms. Woods?
I'm sorry?
Oh, is it fair to say that right now you two living in the same home is probably not a good situation?
Even the last time that I came to court with you, she said that she didn't want to be here. So,
but I'm asking you. I know it's not about you loving your daughter or not. Right now, it seems like it's kind of a toxic relationship on February 9th, 2021. We can get CPS involved just because I'm not sure I want to keep her here, but Shantasia doesn't really call the shots.
involved.
I beg your pardon?
CPS is already involved.
Yeah. Okay. What is the investigation going on right now?
Yeah, because the last time when I went to court with you guys before y'all released her on the ankle monitor, she told them that I punched them in the face. So they were here when I left.
Okay. All right. And they're still in the investigation part?
Yes.
All right. Well, at this point, Ms. Johnson, I think, Shantasia does not want to go home. I'm not sure. I'm sure mom wants her home, but not like the way she is now. Right? So, Shantasia, I'm going to detain you for now, but if you have a change of heart, please let your attorney know. Okay. The fact that you're making mature decisions about your monitor and calling Ms. Rojas, calling the police, I don't want to hold you here. Right? I want to try and work through this in a more mature level. Right? So if you decide that it's time for you to go home, then let Ms. Johnson know, and I'm very inclined to let you go home. That's assuming your behavior level is level 1, though. Okay? You can't cause problems back there and go home. Okay?
All right.
You have any questions for me, Shantasia?
No.
Okay, so I'm detaining you for now. You understand? But I'm very open to the idea of releasing you. Just convince me. Give your attorney a reason to release you. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Judge,
Yes.
you guys sent mail for her father to my residence. Is there any reason why that was?
That's a question for Ms. Rojas, not for me.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. So, hey, do we have somebody from Hotel Pod there? They stepped out. So Ms. Gonzalez, why, obviously they're still having problems. Do you mind calling back there and just let them know we'll just do in person after, when I wrap up these detention hearings, we'll just do an in-person hearing, okay?
Absolutely.
So they probably just
Thank
need
you.
to restrain them, but bring them to physically to court.
Okay.
All right, so Breland Jordan.
Oh,
Hello, Ms. Jordan.
good morning.
Hello, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Berger, is here. Why is she DJ only? Do we know? Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. All right, Ms. Jordan, this is the one where, okay, this is the traffic stop, hotel pulled out, pulled back in. You know, Breland, I'm not going to release you if you're not level 1 outstanding. All right. So I do have a question for Mr. Nava. Do we have a parent here, first of all?
Yes, grandma and her mom should be present in the lobby.
Oh, they haven't brought him in. Okay.
And I know grandma wanted to speak on the situation.
With who?
Grandma wanted to speak about the situation.
Oh, okay. Is she receiving the vitamin supplements?
I'm unaware. I can only assume yes. I know the detention clinic is very on top of that.
Can I ask you to verify that she is receiving the prenatal vitamins?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Mom and Grandma, so we're here. Breland, this is her detention hearing. She's level 2. So if she's not level 1 outstanding, I just don't release kids, because what happens if she can't be a level 1 outstanding here, then if I release her to you, then she's going to misbehave at your home too, right? I mean, this is such a structured environment. If she can't even follow these rules, there's no way she's going to follow your rules. So I generally don't release kids if they're not level 1 outstanding. But Mr. Nava did say that y'all did have a question for me.
When? Or at least I know when I spoke with grandma, she wanted to at least to be able to have the opportunity to have Breland live with her, since Breland does live with mom. At one point, she started living with grandma, and of course, grandma's right here. So grandma's very engaged.
Grandma, did you want to tell me something or ask me something?
Well, what I wanted to ask you, sir, was that you had called and said that she was going to be released because you all were overcrowded and because of COVID. Breland has Crohn's disease, and she's also 3 months pregnant. So I thought maybe you could release her to me. But she had, on the level 2 that you're talking about, she has problems. She has ADHD. She's under MHMR. She's bipolar. She has a lot of problems, sir.
Right. Well, Grandma, I'm going to let you know the pregnancy thing doesn't really, it's not persuasive for me to release her because of that, because she told me that as soon as she gets out, she's going to get rid of the baby. So, it's like one of those, that's no longer an issue to let her out because she's pregnant, because she would just terminate.
I'm talking about the Crohn's disease, underlying illnesses with the corona. That's what I was just saying. I know you had said that she was leaving that day, and I don't know what happened because I was not there, but you say that she was leaving that day and something happened. So I wanted to know, why did it change? Because she still has the same situation.
Yeah.
Overcrowding.
So the reason why, so the overcrowding, actually, we released several girls. So we're no longer near the limit. So we have plenty of room for girls now. And she was on a list that was identified as very good candidates to release, but her outburst in court really led her to say, I just can't release her because she would cause more problems if I was to release her. So I actually had told her I'm releasing you, and she actually undid it and made it worse, where I changed my mind. Okay, so that's just a consequence of decisions. But she's level 2 now, 2 acceptable. So she's not behaving here. If she can't get her behavior level up, then she's just not going to get released. All right. So just hopefully that gives you more information on why this is happening. Okay.
Well, actually, can I speak?
Yes, yes.
Actually, it wasn't an outburst. It was me that said you hung me up. But so what's going on about the 12th? Is she gonna have court again on the 12th as well?
Yes.
Talk to Mr. Berger. Right. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't keep up with all the individual court settings. We have thousands of kids under the supervision of this court, so I'm not sure which days, but Mr. Berger will know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Adolfo Molina.
Where's Mr. Berger?
All right, Mr. Molina, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to leave you in the community or to take you into custody. By taking you into custody, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Currently, you are on probation for burglary of a habitation, a felony level offense. I'm going to ask Ms. Washington, is this determinate or indeterminate?
Indeterminate, Your Honor.
All right, so evidently, Adolfo, you were placed on probation last June. See, the court ordered counseling, and you're not participating in counseling. You had an appointment for outpatient substance abuse treatment. And in December, you failed to appear for that appointment. We had some administrative hearings just to encourage you to do the right things, like going to school and substance abuse treatment. So let's see, yesterday, there was an appointment scheduled, but you failed to appear. On that day, Mom contacted us, said that you left on Friday to visit Dad, but never came back. She said she tried several times to reach you, but could not. You knew about the appointment and told the officer last week that you'd be present for the appointment, but you failed to show up.
Your Honor, I did attempt to conduct the UA, and he stated that he wasn't able to produce this morning.
Okay. All right. How long did we give him to produce the sample?
Let's see, they arrived here around 10, about 10 minutes after 10. So he wasn't able to produce. So we had to come to the hearing at 10:30.
Okay.
I don't know if he's able to do it now or not.
Adolfo, can you provide a sample now? Nope. Okay. Well, that's a problem. So Adolfo, what I see right now is that you are skipping court settings, court-ordered counseling. This is part of your probation, and you're supposed to submit a sample. And so what I'm I don't think what you understand, Adolfo, is when you say you're going to take probation, that means, Judge, give me one more chance. I know I broke the law, but give me this chance. I'll prove to you I can do everything right. But if you're running away, we can't supervise you. I mean, if you're not even one to the basics, like keep appointments to the court, that's telling me that there's just no supervision that's right for you. So at this point, I'm going to go and detain you, right? We'll figure out how we need to approach your probation, or even if you need probation or not. Okay, we're also going to go ahead and, Ms. Washington, make sure we get a sample. And although I'm going to let you know that if you don't produce a sample, this afternoon, I just assume that you're dirty for everything. So that means heroin, methamphetamine, ice, crack, PCP, Xanax, fentanyl, you name it, you're positive for it. Because why else would you be hiding it? If you're only positive for one drug, then you don't want me to assume everything. You just assume provide a sample. So I'm just going to let you know it's in your best interest to provide a sample than to just hold out forever. So Ms. Washington, we'll just make sure we get a sample, and then we'll go and detain him for now and see if his attitude changes. All right?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing this child to the attention of the court. Tygon Nesbitt. See that look? That's the unpositive look.
Hi, Judge.
Hello, Ms. Brown.
May I add that stepdad and father are here, but mom is passionate. She was kicked out earlier, so she's waiting to get back on.
You know, I kicked her out because she kept on moving around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let her back in.
Okay.
Passion, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I removed you because you were moving around before, and this is still court, okay? So
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I apologize. I didn't know when I logged in. I didn't recognize the lady, and I kept hearing something I didn't know. I thought I was logging into just my son's case, so I apologize.
No, it's
for
the
that.
whole
But I'm
hearing.
in my car.
That's fine. You're not driving, right?
No, I'm
Okay.
parked.
Good, all right. So just for future reference, if you can just kind of, now you know what it's like.
Yes.
All right, so Tygon, we're here. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to leave you in the community or to So, Ms. Brown, we have mom, which is passionate. We have, who else is here?
We have mom, and then we have stepdad that is sitting with Tegan.
Okay.
Him and mom are married, and then behind Tegan is Tegan's biological father.
Okay. So who does Tegan live with?
He lives with Mr. Cochran and Miss Cochran, mom and stepdad.
Okay. So I've got to ask, I'll ask Dad, what's going on with his hair? Yeah, stepdad, if he lives, or mom. Actually, I'll go with mom. Mom, what's going on with his hair?
So he's trying to grow it out right now to get it into a different style. So it's in an awkward stage right now.
What about the color?
It's blonde in the front. So he's wanting to change it to a different color. So
Okay.
yes.
All right. Well, as long as what we have here is that's not the plan, right?
No, it's not
Okay.
the plan.
All right.
Yes, no.
Okay. All right. So, Tegan, if I take you into custody, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Hall is here. All right. So, Tegan, you had offenses for 2020 for unlawfully carrying a weapon and failed to ID by giving false information, and you got deferred prosecution for that. So now, on Friday, there's a new referral for theft of a firearm. Says that November 3rd, your dad told police that a known suspect took his firearm without consent. According to the police, he said that he was cleaning his son's room, found a scope as accessory for his black Smith & Wesson pistol. So he went to the closet where his firearm is kept, found the firearm and the magazine missing. His son, Tygon, had taken the firearm without his consent. And he also said, this is biological dad, right, Ms. Brown?
No, sir, this is stepfather.
Stepfather, okay. He also said that his son was recently reported as a runaway by his wife and was previously in trouble for stealing mom's firearm. On Monday, we received a new offense, terroristic threat, according to the police. Teacher at school was attempting to de-escalate incidents. The teacher stated while performing the duties that Tygon Nesbitt told him directly, "You bald ass nigger, I am going to find you and get you." So he took it as a threat. He would attempt to find him and cause serious bodily harm because he was performing his duties as a teacher, and caused him alarm and wanted to file charges. So mom says that she does not have any problems while you're home or in the community. You've also started a job. The theft of firearm occurred before you were placed on DPP. Second offense occurred more than a month ago. You've only been enrolled a short time. So Ms. Brown actually wants you to work with you in the community. All right, so my first question, Mr. Cochran, did you get the gun back?
No, sir.
So as far as we know, Tygon still has access to that pistol.
The story I got was somebody walked in the house and took it. That's what the story I got. That some random guy just came in the house and took it. But he told his mama something else. So,
Mom, question for you. Do you know where the gun is?
I do not know. He told me that one of his friends were coming over to play video games, actually, and asked to see the firearm. And when he went to show it to him, he took it back to his car to show somebody else in the car and just ran off with it. So we have not recovered it.
So did he possibly give you the name of that friend?
No, it's like a weird name, but not really, no. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's not an actual name.
So the theory is he's inviting kids to your home, showing them guns,
Right.
playing video games, and taking the gun out to the car and doesn't even know his name.
Well, I don't remember his name because it's like a weird name. It's like a nickname of some sort. It wasn't an actual name. But whenever I had asked Tegan, that's the only thing that he told me. But we have a camera outside our door, which tells us when somebody is walking up to the door, or a camera that's also outside of our garage that says when there's motion. And we never got a motion for that to look back on the camera. So to answer your question, we don't have it. Don't know where it's at.
Nobody came to the house. I'm thinking, what I'm thinking, Your Honor, is he gave my gun to somebody. Because we don't even allow people to come over unless we approve it.
Yeah, no, that's the way it should be.
So for him to just say some random guy came to the house and walked in the house and took it, I didn't believe him when he told me.
Well, so, I'm a strong believer in the Second Amendment. Mom, Dad, I'm just going to know my preference is, parents keep firearms locked and ammunition stored separately. But of course, I'm not faulting you, because at the end of the day, your son's not supposed to be taking things that's not his. Tegan, you and I have not met before, all right? I'm going to let you know that I have a really big problem with kids with guns, right? I feel like that is one of the greatest threats to our community. And so my policy really is, if a kid ends up with a gun as part of the offense, I detain them, right? I make sure that the situation is safe to release the child. As far as we know, if you did actually take the weapon, you may have just hidden it in the backyard somewhere and you have access as soon as you get out. That, combined with the new threat made to the teacher, that gives me great concern about releasing you to the community. All right, I'll let you ask a question in a minute. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and detain you now. All right. This is because of how serious it is. I am one judge that is absolutely committed to protecting the community from gun violence from children, if at all possible. Okay. So I'm going to let you know, if you do have more information about the firearm, that's something you may want to talk to your attorney about. You may decide whether that's information that can help you or not. Mr. Hall, you're here, right? Sorry,
yes.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't see the turkey. So that's Mr. Tiggin, that's your attorney, Mr. Hall. He's very accessible, and you may have information for him that might help you, or it may hurt you, but it's better to tell him instead of me, because there are district attorneys watching this hearing. All right, so Tiggin, your hand is raised. If you have a question for me, your attorney does not mind you asking me. I'm happy to answer the question. If you want to tell me something, this is not the time to do it, because you can actually put yourself in a spot, okay? So do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something? All right, so I understand that's a good decision. All right, Mr. Hall, you can probably, it seems like he does want to have some information. You may want to call him and reach out to him today, and maybe that's something that can help us make his situation better, okay?
I'll call him this afternoon.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take him into custody.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ashlyn Wyatt.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
Sorry, do I stay on the call? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I mean, you're welcome to stay and watch if you want. Otherwise, we're done with your case.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You'll have a good day.
So, Ashlyn.
No, he's talking to you. Say something.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Ashlyn. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Ms. Sherman is your attorney. Is Harmony here? I saw her earlier.
Yes, Your Honor.
Harmony, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Are you holding up okay?
I'm better.
Good. Good. It's actually really good to see your face.
Thank you.
So, all right, Ashlyn, you're 16, almost 17. You've never been here before. Yesterday, police brought you in. They're saying on February 7th, to Sunday. By 11 o'clock, police were dispatched to a missing person runaway call. Mom called the police, said you were missing. When they got there, saw your mom upset and crying. Marks around her eye, some cut, and she said before running the house, Ashlyn became aggressive when mom tried to prevent her from leaving, pushing her into the corner of a wall during their argument. Mom said she fell on the ground, injuries. She said that Ashlyn had been smoking weed and becoming increasingly aggressive lately and had to call the police. Ashlyn arrived at the apartment, opened the door. Upon seeing the police, she ran, but was intercepted in the hallway. She was non-compliant, became aggressive with the officers. Your 17-year-old boyfriend reportedly tried to physically intervene. The mother's boyfriend, a former state trooper, got in between the person and the arresting officer and blocked his attempt to thwart the arrest. So Ashlyn started cursing and screaming, claiming her collarbone was broken. Ashlyn reportedly admitted to EMS staff that her collarbone injury was from high school volleyball years ago. Ashlyn would only tell the police she hates her mom and should have beaten her. We gave mom the option of do not prosecute or mediation. And mom said really Ashlyn's pushed it too far. So is mom here?
Yes, sir. Christy Barr is mother.
Oh, all right. Hi, Miss Barr.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
So how long has this been escalating?
For about the last month. I first reported her as a runaway last weekend. And then she, of course, did it again this past weekend. My concern, Your Honor, is she is drinking. She is doing drugs. We found paraphernalia in her bedroom. She is getting increasingly aggressive. She is angry.
Did you give her a drug test?
No, I have not.
Would you like us to give her one?
Yeah, yes.
Is she lying right now?
I'm sorry, what did she say? Security control, who's back there?
Yes, sir.
What did she just say?
Say yeah.
She agreed to a drug test.
Mom, is her hair colored?
Yes, sir.
So Mom, this is just something in the last month that's escalated things?
I've suspected the marijuana use for some time now. It's only recently become apparent. We moved from North Irving to the HEB Fort Worth area in September, and she doesn't have a rec center directly across the street to go to do this stuff anymore. So she is doing it in the apartment. The day that the police were called most recently, I did receive a call from the apartment complex saying that the smell of weed was so excessive that the neighbor could smell it in their apartment as if they were the ones smoking the pot. We love Ashlyn. We want her to come home, but I've got an 8-year-old who's also being subject to this. Ashlyn's mentioned on a couple of times when I try to discipline her or set boundaries, if I do this, I will find her dead. If I do that, she's not going to, I'm going to lose my daughter. She reported to me that she had found a bottle of prescription drugs just over this past week when I had one of my calm sit downs with her out in the streets of the apartment complex, and she took them to try to kill herself, and all it did was make her sick and vomit. So my concerns go way beyond the minor injuries I sustained. She needs help.
Has she ever seen a mental health doctor?
She has not. I actually had an appointment scheduled for her for yesterday morning. But of course, due to circumstance, that didn't happen.
Right. Okay. So, Mom, this is my thought on your daughter. At this point, it sounds like her drug use may be more than we anticipate or expect, right? And so sometimes with marijuana, I'm not as concerned, but if there's a lot of marijuana, I'm concerned. If it's other drugs, I'm very concerned. I'm concerned about any kind of marijuana use by juveniles, but still, I mean, that's, I'm also really concerned about her attitude, right? Especially, she can be upset with you, but that's no reason for her to get aggressive or defiant with police officers who really, they don't have a dog in the hunt. They're just there to do their job. So at this point, I'm going to let you know, Ms. Wyatt, Ashlyn, is I'm going to go ahead and detain you for now, all right? Part of it is I think your situation at home is very toxic, but you don't really understand your role as a daughter and your mom's role as a mother and how it's supposed to work. And I don't think you really understand, based on what I'm seeing, is the level of respect that you need to show for the rules. So that's part of why I want to keep you here, is to make sure that you can follow the rules. There's not an underlying behavioral issue that we just don't know about that needs psychiatric assistance with. I'm also, part of it is because I'm concerned about the drug use, okay? So since you dye your hair, it's hard for us to get a sample and send it off because that could interfere with it. So I'm going to go order I'm not worried about your analysis. I'm going to order a nail bed sample. All right, so they're going to go ahead and clip your fingernails or toenails, and they'll send that. Are you listening to me? Okay. They're going to go ahead and take your nail, and then we'll figure out, we'll send it off to the lab, see what substances you're positive for, and then we'll go from there, Mom. So these tests go back about 6 months, right? So that will let us know what her drug history is over a period of time rather than just the last 72 hours up to 30 days, okay? And Jocelyn, the best thing you do is you get to level 1 outstanding. That gives me a reason, or that puts me in a position where I'll review your case. If you're level 2 or level 3, I'm not going to release you. If you're level 1 outstanding, I'll look at it, and then hopefully your mom will have the phone calls and you can start to discuss things and work things out. All right, so I know your hand is raised, Ashlyn. If you want to tell me something, your attorney does not want you to talk. If you want to ask me something, your attorney's okay with that. Do you have a question for me?
No, I never pushed her. That's
well, hold on. So you have to understand, this is not a trial right now. This is not about whether you did it or not.
I understand that.
This is simply about deciding whether there's probable cause. So if they can put into words that you broke the law, then have to consider whether releasing you or not.
How long
I want to let you know, the fact that your boyfriend was there looked like he was going to jump in and interfere with the police officers. He could have picked up a felony for that. And I think it probably sounds like, based on what I read in the report, is your behavior with the police, they probably could have put a assault public servant charge on you, which would be a 3rd-degree felony, but they might have been nice to you. They may have felt sorry for your mom, or I don't know what the situation was, but they could have actually put a 3rd-degree felony on you, depending on what you did. Okay, so you may have actually gotten off better than you should have. Right? So
Can I say something?
Well, no, I don't want you to say, your attorney does not want you to say anything. If you want to ask me a question, I'm happy to answer your question, but remember, this is not your trial.
I understand that, but the thing is I never pushed her. I was
hold on. But this is not about fact. I just take what the probation officer tells me from the police report, and then I assume that is true. Okay?
So how long do y'all detain for?
That really depends on you. If your level is 1 outstanding, and then that opens the conversation for me to release you. If your behavior is bad, then you just don't get out of here. So just follow the rules. That's what it is. You know the rules, follow the rules. We'll figure out a way to get you out of here.
I understand it, but what's the longest you detained for?
Well, on this offense, till your 18th birthday. So you're almost 17. If you're 17, your cases become adult cases. But right now you're 16, 10 months or so. So, but yes, the law says I can detain you all the way up until your 18th birthday for this.
What about perfect behavior? I haven't done anything since I've been in here.
I'm sorry?
How soon do you get off perfect behavior? Because I haven't done anything since I've been here.
Well, your behavior, your level can get up to level 1 in 3 days, right? So we'll review this, we'll decide, but I'm also going to wait for this drug test.
That doesn't make sense to me.
What doesn't make sense?
Say that again.
What doesn't make sense?
Level 1. What?
Oh, the detention staff will explain that to you. It's you'll get points or lose points.
I want to go home. I just want to go home. Literally everything that happened last night and the first time.
Whoa, your attorney does not want you to talk about that.
I'm not going to say anything about that.
We're not deciding whether you did or not. We are deciding if this is true, whether it's safe to release you or not. I'm concerned about your drug use, right?
How would you
if you don't use drugs, you have nothing to worry about.
I understand that. That's why I said drug test.
Good. All right. So anyways, Ashlyn, please make the best use of the time. Yes.
If I may, forgive me if the court addressed this and I just didn't hear, but I would recommend a medication evaluation while she's in detention.
Okay. Like a psychiatric?
Yes, sir.
We can do that.
And she had that appointment yesterday anyway, and it was missed for the obvious reason.
All right. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. I'll order a psychiatric evaluation for her. And Ashlyn, just to let you know that if you refuse to take your medication that you prescribed, then you cannot get to level 1 outstanding. And that means you won't get out here. So if you are prescribed medication, you do need to take it.
I don't need medication.
Yeah, if the doctor agrees with you, then you don't have to worry about it.
And what if they do to me what they did to my mom and over medicate me?
So I'm gonna let you know, trying to throw shade on your mom right now is not.
I'm just asking. I don't want to get over medicated. That's why I don't want to be on medication.
So if the medication is not working for you, then you ask to see the doctor again and get reevaluated and your medication adjusted. All right?
When is my court?
I don't know. Talk to your attorney.
I don't think I have an attorney.
Do you not even listen to me? Ashlyn, are you really trying to make your situation worse? You're doing a good job. No. Stop interrupting me. Will you stop interrupting me? Because if you interrupt me, we're just done. Are you really trying to make your situation worse? The very first thing I told you was that if you can't afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you, and Ms. Sherman is your attorney. So either you haven't listened to a single thing I said, or you stopped listening at the beginning.
No, so I just didn't hear you say that part about the attorney.
Again, you weren't listening to me, or you never listened to me. All right, so the child's detained. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, at this point, this portion of the detention hearing is concluded. I'm going to pass this on to Judge Terry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to address the 4 gentlemen. At this point, we made it. We still have 4 electronic monitors. So probation for Gallagher, Gorman, Webb, and the last one is Burden. What I want to do is, as they submit drug samples, we'll go ahead and fit them for the EM and let them go. If they refuse or can't provide a sample, they just stay here. Okay? All right. So Judge Terry, thank you very much. We have that last Mr. Harris. That's going to be in person. Whoever's in charge of that, please bring him to the courtroom so we can do an in-person hearing. Thank you, everyone.
Judge Kim, and so when I'm finished with my last one, I will end the Zoom.
I'm sorry?
Did you want me to end the Zoom then when I'm finished with my last one?
Yes, please. I believe we have under 14.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Terry.
Thank you. All right, Nathan Knox. Afternoon, Mr. Knox. I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent, and you also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Ms. Sherman. Do you see her here? She's got long blonde hair and glasses on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Do you have a parent or guardian here for him?
Your Honor, I'm covering this hearing and I was told that mom would be on Zoom.
Your Honor, she accidentally got kicked off Zoom and she was trying to get back on, so she should be back on if she's not already.
I can't do anything. I don't know what happened. I don't have any control over that. So, okay. Let's see. You've been here since January 25th. On outstanding, you were brought in for, actually, have these cases been filed?
Yes, Your Honor. He has court next week.
That's right. He sat with Judge Porter. I just saw that as soon as I asked. So you've got theft of property, burglary of habitation, theft of firearm, burglary of vehicles, theft of property, burglary of a habitation, and then you had a supervisory caution, theft of property from back in October.
Wait, what?
Well, it looks like back in October, JPD supervisory caution something. In other words, they didn't file a case on you for a theft of property from back in October. All right, so positive for marijuana when you came in. You are on level 1 outstanding, and you have been for the last 3 days. Ms. Paxton, do you know what took him so long?
No, Your Honor. I can look though.
Sure.
Your Honor, on February 5th, he was not following instructions and sharing food, so he was dropped down to a 1 acceptable.
It looks like I probably just let mom back in and she's walking around and everything, which is contrary to Judge Kim's standing orders. That may have been why she was removed. So mom, I don't know if she can hear me, your audio is not connected, but you're gonna need to have a seat, mom. All right, so he's in here on all these pending offenses and didn't follow the rules, but he is back on level 1 outstanding. Here's the thing, Nathan. I'm sure Judge Kim conveyed to you very clearly how he feels about kids with guns.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're in there stealing guns. And you know what? You're quite frankly, you're lucky you're in here and not in the ground, because you don't know when you go into someone's house what you're going to be facing. And you happen to be going into someone's house. Did they know the victims, Ms. Paxton?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, well, you're set with Judge Porter in front of the 18th, and because you are actually back in here on a similar offense that was alleged back in October, I'm going to go ahead and keep you detained. I'm concerned that you are a danger to the community at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Elton Olive. Morning, Mr. Olive. I'm Judge Terry, or good afternoon. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose of this is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Edwin Youngblood. Do you see him here on Zoom with us?
Good morning. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, I see him.
All right, great. Is there a parent or guardian here for him?
Yes, Your Honor, Jessica Wade.
Okay, hi, Ms. Wade. All right, so you have been here since the 12th of January. You've been on level 1 outstanding the entire time, as soon as you could. But you were brought in on the 12th for an out of custody detention hearing due to multiple and continuous violations of the terms and conditions of supervision, non-compliance with your substance abuse treatment recommendations. Back in November, you were denying any continued drug use, and then you tested positive for marijuana after that on November 18th. And Wednesday, the 25th, says that mom had to make a runaway report at 3:19 a.m. and you returned a few hours later. Next day, you were out again in the middle of the night. December, excessive absences from school and pending removal from the school. You admitted that you had not attended school. Mid-December, drug test returned positive for THC again. Earlier January, you had an intake assessment at Phoenix House in Dallas. You refused to participate. Let's see. And then it was determined by 2IRC you would benefit from residential treatment. Apparently, you continue to be disrespectful towards your mother, not attend school and use marijuana. Taking money from your mom, probably to buy marijuana. Okay, so violation of a court order was filed on the 12th of January. You tested positive for marijuana again when you came back in on the 12th of January. Okay, so resource staffing is not scheduled until March 3rd. Motion to modify is set for the 16th of this month.
16th, Your Honor. I was told the 17th.
Well, I have the 16th in front of me. Psychological is scheduled for the 21st. All right, Mom, what are your thoughts?
I have not spoken to my son in a few weeks. I did have a conversation with him prior to that. He was on level 1 outstanding at that time. It was right before his last court hearing. He did say that he wanted to come home, and I asked him that would the level 1 outstanding continue if he came home. He did not like that comment. Therefore, he ended the conversation and has not contacted me since. He's been contacting my mother, his grandma.
Okay. Well, that makes it easier for me. So here's the thing, Mr. Olive, you're smart for maintaining your level 1 outstanding since you've been back here. You know how to play the game. However, I think that that's what you're doing right now. I don't think you're ready to go home and listen to your mom and follow her rules. I think that contacting grandma is kind of sort of like buttering grandma up, getting ready to maybe go to grandma's instead, to where you can do what you want. And that's just what I'm seeing. Your continued bad choices from, these other offenses in June, one of which you're on probation for, and then you just continue it on and on and on, and just making the wrong choices. I don't think that, I think you need to stay in here and get your psychological completed and see what happens with the placement search. I don't think there's anything at home that can help you with the, unfortunately, I don't think you are manageable at home. So I think you are likely to keep smoking marijuana and keep violating the terms and conditions of your probation. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep you detained. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
One thing,
Welcome.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
according to my client who I talked with earlier, grandma is right now in a medical situation where she couldn't take care of him anyway. She has told him that she will now go to the doctor to try to see if she can get some sort of successful treatment. He's unaware and I'm unaware of what that might be. But I wanted to give you the full picture, Your Honor.
I
That's
certainly
because-
hope grandma's okay, and that would also, knowing that, I would also hesitate to, without knowing more, to send him to grandma.
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds like she's got her health is more important than dealing with his shenanigans, so. All right, thank you, Mr. Youngblood.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, Peyton Scott. A parent or guardian here for Mr. Scott?
Grandfather.
Oh, hi, grandfather. I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose of this is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You also have a right to your attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Bronson, is here. Do you see him there?
No, I don't see him.
He's got the backdrop with the bridge behind him.
I can't see him on the screen. I see my probation officer and my grandpa though.
Okay, well, Mr. Bronson is here. I think, Mr. Bronson, when you speak up, your screen will highlight and he'll be able to see you. Okay. I remember you, Peyton. I think that Mr. Bronson did a really good job for you.
Yes, ma'am.
However, you don't seem to have appreciated it very much. I do appreciate, though, that you have been on level 1 outstanding pretty much as soon as you could be since the time you've been here. Came back in on the 11th because I signed a DTA. You were having trouble either keeping your sweat patch on or having a negative test result from your sweat patch. And see, the last one that was confirmed was on the 5th. That was positive for methamphetamines, amphetamine, and fentanyl. And you received on the 11th when you came in, you received a 9-panel drug test. I guess your other sweat patch had already been removed. You'd already moved it yourself, but you tested here positive for opiates, oxycodone. It was not submitted to lab for confirmation. What were the results of his nail bed screen that he had done on the 26th?
It tested positive for amphetamines, methamphetamines, oxycodone, and I want to say THC. And it was other, which I believe is ecstasy.
I'm really concerned about the type of substances that he's testing positive for. And I know what you're on probation for. I recall that without having seen it. And part of me wonders if it's substance abuse issue is tied to that. I don't know, but I do know that you have a problem, and I'm concerned about your safety mostly. Hate that you have to stay here, but I think this is the safest place for you right now until, because it looks like resource staffing isn't even available. Psychological evaluation was done. Be back next week. Oh, resource staffing also on not till the 22nd. It makes me sad, Peyton, as I'm not concerned about you harming anyone else right now. I'm concerned about you harming yourself. And so to protect you, I'm going to keep you detained, okay?
May I be heard on the issue of our final trial setting, Your Honor?
Yes, sir, of course.
Thank you. We are scheduled for the motion to revoke on the 18th at 1:30, and the resource staffing, I believe, is in the 22nd. Do you set your own calendar, or would we need to get with Stephanie?
You would need to get with Mary on that, yes.
I mean, Mary on that, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, then we'll just get a new setting, and perhaps there will be another detention hearing after the staffing. But I will let the court know that I have been working with the grandfather as well, looking at additional placement options that we can share with the department in anticipation of their placement staffing that's going to occur on the 22nd. We've got some additional options in addition to what the department might have.
Okay, good. I like it. So, Mr. Scott, do you have a question for me?
It was for my attorney, Mr. Bronson. Is it okay?
You know what, Mr. Scott, there are other people waiting and they've been waiting a very long time. And so if you need to speak with your attorney, I'm sure he can call you as soon as he has time, okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. All
I'll
right.
call today.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Scott, you are so lucky that you have resources and family willing to help figure this out for you on top of the resources that JPD has. So, all right, we'll see you next time.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Retained. He's retained. That's okay. All right, Felicity Willingham.
Say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Felicity. I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent and you have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Ms. Nowolke, but I haven't seen her on here. And so who is pinch hitting today?
I'm
Oh, there she
here.
is. I'm sorry, Ms. Nowolke. There you are. Okay. All right. She's been here since the 11th. I think this was a DTA.
No, Your Honor, it was a new offense.
No, it was. That's right. All right. That's right. Domestic disturbance. Victim was Lakeisha Willingham, advised she was involved in a physical altercation with her daughter. Victim advised officers that Felicity is a habitual runaway and this morning ran away from her aunt's house, was gone for 3 hours. And no longer wants Felicity to stay there due to an altercation that occurred New Year's Day. And she called Felicity's mom to come pick up her daughter. When mom arrived, Felicity was lying upstairs in the bed and told mom she was not going with her. Felicity's mom grabbed Felicity's leg to move her off the bed, and Felicity kicked her mom in the right leg and stood up and struck her mom approximately 3 times in the face and pulled out a strand of her mom's hair. Is there a parent? Are you mom here?
I am. Yes, ma'am.
Mom was the one who struck her. Time to go. It's time to go, Felicity. You're on probation. Scheduled in front of me for later this week. Scheduled to see doctor for a psych eval later this month. Scheduled for the 5th of March. Mom, do you know where she's going when she's running away?
No, she talks to people on Instagram and friends that I don't even know of, and she just basically does whatever she does.
Felicity hasn't learned this yet, but she's like basically talking to people who aren't really her friends, who don't really care about her. Okay, so her probation is for the unauthorized use of a vehicle. And this is her 3rd violation since then. Or no, 2nd. I'm sorry. Your level 3 acceptable, Felicity. So I would hope that you would be a lot better off right now, considering that you are set pretty soon. What you need to understand is your behavior here in the back will play a large role in the possible services that will be available to you, what will happen at the end of your case. So if you don't understand that, I suggest you speak with your attorney about that, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and keep you detained. Okay, do not bring in the next child. This time, because the remaining hearing involves a child under 14, the court shall close this hearing to the public because I cannot find any reason why the interest of the public or the interest of the child would best be served by keeping this hearing open to the public. So there'll be about a 20-second burn off. I need about 20 seconds of silence before I can turn off the live stream to YouTube.